Hello, Fry. Can I interest you in some surf and turf?
Do you feel that, fellas? That's the pressure of Valentine's Day creeping around the corner. We're only a couple weeks away. Do you know what you're making? I do. You're making some surf and turf, all right? It's one of my favorite Valentine's Day's entrees due to A, it is a money saver if you do it yourself. You can get a lot more out of it. B, it's super impressive. Like if you can do a nice surf and turf with a good side, everyone's impressed, all right? And I think it's one of the easier entrees that you can figure out on your own if this is your first time cooking, all right? So let's get started.
And here we go.
And like always, I say cooking should be fun and relaxing. So grab yourself some relaxing juice. And let's get started, okay? So we got surf and turf. Let's take care of the turf first, all right? For this one, I have two 16-ounce New York strip steaks with the bone in, all right? If you have a ribeye, you can follow the same instructions. You'll get something pretty close, all right? First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a paper towel, all right? And we're gonna pad the whole top and bottom of both of these steaks as dry as we can get them. The reason we pad our steaks down is so we can get the surfaces as dry as we can, so that later when we want to sear the steaks, we can, all right? The drier the surfaces are, the better the sear is going to be, all right? Next up, we're gonna add our seasoning, all right? So we're gonna add some salt, some black pepper, garlic powder. Doesn't need to be quite that much garlic powder. This is a brand new bottle. And onion powder. Rub it in there. Okay. Yes. Now I'm going to flip the steak over and do the same thing on the other side. I'll speed through it so you don't have to wait the whole time. And there we have them, our two steaks. All right, I'm gonna put these in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. It's gonna do two things. A, it's going to let our seasoning kind of absorb into the steak a little bit better, improving our flavor. And B, it's gonna help to dry out the surfaces of the steak so that when I'm searing it, it's gonna be even better, even after padding it, okay? So I'll see you guys in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Now, while we're waiting on our steak to get done in the fridge, why don't we work on our surf side of the surf and turf, all right? So, I have my frying pan and about 6 large scallops. I'm gonna take some olive oil and pour in just enough to cover the bottom of this pan, okay? There we go. Just like that. It's barely enough. And then I'm going to throw in my large scallops. There we go. And most people will start this stuff on a stovetop, trying to get a nice sear on them, whatever. For scallops, I've never had the greatest of luck, like searing them and then having them turn out like not dry in the middle. But I found out if you just start on a low heat and you cook it all the way through, you can get to where they're brown on both sides. It's still kind of crispy, but you don't have to worry about them drying out, okay? So I have my scallops in my frying pan, kind of in a star pattern like so. And I'm just gonna season them the exact same way I did my steak. There we go. And we have our seasoned scallops. All right, I'm gonna set this on the stove top on a medium-low heat. I'm not in a super rush for these to get done because I still have to work on my steak. So they'll get done over time, all right? And please Everybody, can you give me a 1 second? Sorry about that. My daughter was throwing me some not so subtle hints that it was snack time. All right. Anywho, a minute. All right. So as I was saying, you're going to set these on the stove top on a medium-low heat. I'm not in a hurry because I'm still working on my steak, okay? And if you put this on at the same heat as the steak, they're going to get done way too soon, okay? So on the stove top, medium-low. All right, here we have them. Our steaks are out of the fridge. All right, the surfaces are a little bit drier to the touch as you want them. All right, let's pop these suckers on our frying pan. All right, we're gonna have it turned up to high heat, and I'm gonna wait till that thing starts to smoke. All right, we have a good solid smoke going on. So what's gonna happen next, you're gonna want all near you, okay? Don't need to be running all over the kitchen for this next bit, okay? We're gonna grab, there we go, our steak. And this one's big and thick enough that I can actually start it on its spine to melt that fat from the fat cap, okay? If you have a 5-ounce or 8-ounce steak, you don't need to do this part. It's actually a little bit dangerous. So this is for anybody who has it like the 16-ounce option. All right, I'm gonna leave it here for about 30 seconds. All right, here we go. Nice sear. While it's going, we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of butter, toss it in, along with a clove of garlic sliced in half, right in the butter, as well as some thyme. All right, now this is fresh thyme, but if you have dried thyme, it'll work okay. A couple sprigs of thyme in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna elevate my steak above my heat. I'm gonna take the butter, just gonna pour it over top. I'm gonna do this for about, I'd say about 2 to 3 minutes or so. I do like to move this butter to keep the steak cooking a bit more evenly. Once you have that sear going, I like to drop my stove top down to about medium high, okay? All right, let's take a look. Ooh, that's a good sear. All right, time to flip her. All right, we're gonna let her go for about the same amount of time. All right, I like to use my meat thermometer here to make sure I'm not overcooking it. Okay, we're at about a 90. 98. All right, cool. There we go. I will put the different degrees of doneness on the screen right about here so you can get the steak done the way you like it. All right. Now I recommend, there we go. I recommend that you take your steak off about 5 degrees below what you prefer, because while it's resting, it'll naturally get to where you want it, okay? There we go. All right, I'm on medium rare. Pulling it off right now. Alrighty. And there we go. Don't be afraid to let your steaks rest either, okay? There we go. I pulled this steak off about, I'd say 5-6 minutes ago, but it's still reading about 123. I hope that still shows. And this one, so this is in the kind of medium rare territory, and this one's going to end up being about medium. Yep, about 130, 135 is medium. So this one's going to be a medium, that one's going to be a medium rare. That's how my wife and I like them, so that's going to be great, all right? So do yourself a favor, let these rest when they're out of the frying pan, okay? It's going to let the temperature kind of get to a homeostasis so it's cooked kind of evenly. And most importantly, it's going to let a lot of this juice soak back into your meat.
That's what she said.
So everyone's going to be happier when you're all done.
That's what she said.
All right, I'm going to grab my relaxation juice and then I'll see you over with the scallops. Our scallops have been going on a very low heat while our steaks were getting cooked. So as you can see, they are nice and soft and thawed all the way through without being overcooked. All right. This bought us time to do our steaks. There we go. Without the scallops getting overly dried or mushy. We don't want either one of those. All right. But we do want a nice brown surface. So I'm going to let this go on a medium high heat until it starts to get nice and browned on the bottom. And I'm going to flip them over again. That should only take a couple of minutes or so with the lid off. All right, so I will see everybody in a few minutes when these scallops start to brown up. It's been about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Let's check our scallops. All right, if they don't pull free on their own, just wait until they start to pull free. Don't try to rip them up, otherwise you're gonna lose some scallop. There we go. These are looking beautiful. Simply beautiful. There we are. And now the other side doesn't need to take nearly as long to brown up, so I'd say 30 seconds to a minute from now these will be nice and done. Okay, it's been our 30 seconds to a minute. Let's take a look. All right, it's looking about the way I like it, nice and browned. All right, cool. So I'm going to take these completely off the heat and let them kind of rest on their own for a few minutes. I will see everybody else for the plating. There we have it, a nice surf and turf. Everything turned out pretty well, but it doesn't matter how it looks if it doesn't taste very good. So let's get a taste of this. I'm going to start with the steak because I'm an American and that looks delicious. I hope everyone can see that pink in the middle of that steak. Ooh, that's the good stuff. That means this got to about medium rare, which is the way I like it. Anyway, let's give it a try.
That's what we're after right there, fellas. There she is. Ooh, somebody get me a beer.
This is everything right with a steak. All right, let's try our scallop. I like to have mine with my mashed potatoes.
Whoa! Homer, it's like there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited.
This is phenomenal. Both of these steaks, all those scallops, all the mashed potatoes, and the asparagus are the same price as one meal from a fancy restaurant. So wrap your head around that. Man, I guess. All right. But that's all I got for today. Oh, and if you don't like the seafood, just do the steak. And if you don't like the steak, just do the seafood. And if you don't like either, we can't be friends.
Well, you! You're dead to me!
Okay? Just do not deny yourself the delicious umami of the combination between surf and turf, okay?
Boo! No! Yuck! Boo!
Snuck it in there at the buzzer. Anyway, please leave me a like. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what kinds of stuff you're doing for Valentine's Day. If this gave you help, please let me know that too. Please give me a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can start monetizing this. If anybody wants to buy a t-shirt, please head to my merch store and buy a t-shirt. But, oh, if anybody wants a good side for your surf and turf, I have a couple videos I'll put here that have mashed potatoes and baked potatoes and all that. So you can go take a look at that. But anyway, it's time for supper. I've been Dad. Have a good one. It tastes delicious. It saves you a ton of money, fellas, and that's saying something. And I forget. Let's try that again.